Crikey, look at this dirt.
You're a bogan.
Let's go check out another section.
Perfect. It's like surfing.
Really? Yeah. No, that's sweet. It's
Yeah.
got some good flow to it. Looks like it's going to be pretty, cross test at least will be pretty high speed. And
Yeah. I know the enduro test too is about the same,
yeah.
except for it'll take probably twice as long.
Really
Yeah.
sick.
Last year, the soil got really soft and silty with like sand sections, and so with the amount of moisture this year, I think it's going to get really deep once again, but it's going to have a ton of exposed roots, so all the roots coming off these trees.
Yeah, all these little runners.
It's going to get wild. There's some sections over here that's going to get insane.
Yeah.
Which will be good because the cross test is quite fast here, so it'll be good to have that balance between a really fast cross test that's a bit more moto specific for a lot of the motocross based athletes, and then have the enduro guys really shining here. I hope it gets super gnarly in here. That's the hope, but it's going to get very technical with the moisture.
It's going to get very 6 days.
It is. I keep watching videos from Spain and I'm like, wow, it's like, is that from the future of this weekend?
It really is. Like same kind of, it feels like a lot, like the same kind of soil from like the day 3-4 cross test in those wood sections.
Exactly. The wood sections in those cross tests, or I don't know if they call them enduro tests, but when you walk down, everything was covered in leaves. It looked like this. The soil was like, nothing was hard, but nothing was like
it was the cross test.
Yeah, it was kind of just like this.
It's like kind of compact, but as soon as you start chewing it up, it just gets softer and softer, and everything just kind of exposes itself underneath, and
exactly,
it's gonna get pretty.
Here's a good example. We're gonna dig this all away, and then it's gonna be
straight into
a root.
Yeah.
So setup wise, it's gonna be techie because you're gonna want something that sticks, but also can absorb that thing when it's now a foot off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. I think too, like in these kind of conditions, like moose and tire setup too comes into play big time. Like, compared to some of the other tests that we've done. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah, good tire setup, good tube setup, or moose. That's where
playing with pressure, maybe like guys that are running twos, playing with pressure maybe a little bit. Because I guess this ground is pretty soft and there's not really many like rocks, at least in this stuff. So you don't really have to worry about pinch flattening too much, but just having that extra little bit of grip, I think would be pretty crucial. So
and then when we go to the cross test, inflate back to like 13 because there's a massive downhill triple out there that you don't want to pinch flat
and
on.
Stone and a lot of rocks and high speeds, and I think there's definitely going to be that contrast in riding technique between the two tests, but also with bike setup. Like even like the cross test is pretty fast and like really flowy and like wide open, whereas this is a lot tighter, more technical. So playing with like bike geometry, whether it's like raising the forks up on an enduro test like this, and then raising them, putting them back down a little bit on the cross test, or playing with sag depending on your setup, like stuff like that'll come into play too. Totally.
This is going to be a race where it seems like the base setting, you're going to vary pretty far from the base setting for the cross test and the enduro test.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite of Brooks, round one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you can get away with the same setting on that both tests there with being very similar. There's no really technical sections to slow down for. We tried to make it as technical as you have.
Yeah, with what you guys had to work with there, but
that'll be the coolest part about this.
Yeah.
As these roots start to expose, especially on a slant, they're gonna just slip.
Push the main line like down into on the outside there.
And the funny thing is that most people will probably still, because you're already lined up there, they'll still continue to hammer the same line. But when you watch the professional level guys in Europe, they're so good at finding
the edges of the track.
Yeah.
And like even like you said, keep to the right, but then as you kind of get to the apex of that corner, you can start cutting in and then open the next section up, right?
Exactly.
So it's going to be really like finding that flow and opening the track up as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
Staying out of these like little off-camber roots and finding stuff to bank against.
Yeah, like this I think is not rooty yet, but like this section here.
These ones?
Yeah, those will be okay, but like this one is gonna be.
That'll be deadly.
Yeah.
Like
hit that with a little bit of lean angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gone.
So maybe a filming spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bloopers reel.
This, oh, look at that. It goes all the way down.
Yeah.
It'll get exposed. Oh man, it goes all the way through this track. That's wild. It's like somebody did that on
putting my
purpose.
line in already.
Yeah.
Marking lines here.
Cut it in. No shovels allowed.
Yeah.
This is one where, you know, by the time this will come out, today's Wednesday, it's Wednesday evening. We'll put this out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if people have the opportunity to come out Thursday, Friday to walk, it's going to be a huge advantage.
I think this track for sure, like walking.
Because even the grass track, when we were checking it out earlier, you know, I was saying like there are so many line options in the corners, like for just like a cool turny grass track.
Yeah.
But when you start to look at it, there's a lot of line choices going on there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I talked to a few people this week already that for sure are coming out tomorrow night to get an extra day, being the long weekend. They're getting an extra day of coming out here and just getting familiar with the track, which is really cool. A really good idea.
Yeah, definitely a good idea.
Come bring your e-bike, just pound laps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do in a lot of the other series, even GNCC, for sure the sprints.
Yeah.
And I know at 6 days, there's guys that walk the tests multiple times, which is rank to try to get.
And like at 6 days, walking the tests after they've raced all day, like not just in the walking week.
Exactly. They go after the night's over, they go back out, check out the tests for the next day, and that's a huge advantage.
Last year, you and me, we just went and ate pizza.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
That's important.
Cool, man.
Last year we had a section come up through here and around. This year we're going to come off the road allowance. We'll come dip into this more traditional Alberta type single track. And then Judd's got something special for us. There's some brand new trails. Typically go that way, super chewed up and root exposed. This will be brand new, so you never know what can get exposed through some new terrain.
This is our first look at it too. That's the grouse.
It's my heart, because there's a grizzly bear.
The prairie chickens.
So with new terrain, you just never know what you get. Spider.
Oh, there's a web.
Crikey!
Crikey, mate.
We got a web.
You got a wild one.
So yeah, we don't really know. I think fresh soil will just get super deep right away, especially when it's going to be moist.
And like you said, you never know what's going to be exposed underneath, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of hard to read the lines, like, for the first couple passes through here. Like, to really know where to go.
Yeah, and it looks like we cut back onto a new single track, which wasn't used in the races before, so this will be kind of fresh as well.
You don't want to be hitting these. This one's a big one.
Look at that. Loam City, boys and girls. Look at that.
That's crazy.
If you're not out here this weekend, you're missing out.
Yeah.
It's gonna get
Vlogging point of view. I don't know. I've never actually tried it. Hey, I'm vlogging.
Who's vlogging?
And now I'm vlogging and throwing up in my mouth. This is really heavy with my setup, with the giant battery on the back.